All right, third time's the charm, guys. Sounds like Faye Fredricks is on the phone, ABC 15 Acre. And Faye, I heard you guys were out at Cardinals talking with them today. What was that like?
You know, I haven't been out there yet, hoping to get out there, guys. I missed the first part of the show, but it sounds good now that I've got you here. Hey, I wanted to throw a question out for you guys, now that we're 1-3 on the phone calls here. What do you guys think is going to be like the trap game this year?
Ooh, great question. Trap game.
You know, one that jumps out at me.
Obviously on the road.
Maybe Cleveland. Johnny Manziel.
Absolutely not. Not worried about that one at all.
St. Louis. I mean, I think what St. Louis shows is they're capable. They're just not consistent. I think St. Louis is a team that, you know, can do some things. That's a possibility. And Faye, the other thing, I think some of the obvious ones, like a Pittsburgh, like a Baltimore, like Philadelphia, the Cardinals are going to be ready for. So for my trap game, I'm going to say one of the games against the St. Louis Rams, because they're capable to do some damage, just not over the long term, but I think they're a team you have to fear a little bit, you know, because they're explosive defensively. They don't have a great quarterback, but they could shock you, and that's a typical trap game.
Yeah, I'd go Pittsburgh. Always tough to win at Heinz Field. Look what they just did to the 49ers yesterday, just absolutely dismantled, and they've got a proven quarterback, some serious weapons. I think that can easily be a game that unfortunately ends up.
But I think they're going to be ready for that one. I think they're going to be gearing up as a preview of the Super Bowl or something in their minds.
Yeah,
I don't know.
As ready. I'm not saying they'd be unprepared for them, but I'm saying that's just a tough matchup at Heinz Field every time.
Which let me ask you guys, are there any teams right now on a neutral field do you think are better than the Cardinals right now?
On a neutral field.
I would say the Patriots, for sure.
Yes.
Beyond that, I don't know if there's any I would absolutely take over the Cardinals right now.
No,
Green
because
Bay's in the conversation.
Well, Green Bay is so deadly at home that they're good on the road, but man, they're just a different team at home, especially in bad weather. But the Patriots, because of their offense, they can score at will. It doesn't matter where. So that would be the one team.
Their defense is looking a bit shaky, though. Yeah. I mean, the Bills almost came back and won that game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Faye, are you still there?
Yeah.
You still there, Fred? No? Okay. Hey, Faye knows her football, too.
She does. I was just going to get her take.
Plus, she's been around for some lean years for the Cardinals. It's fun for everybody that's been in the Valley for multiple years to see this level of success.
Hey, let's talk about some of the things they were talking about on social media after yesterday's game. The dirty hit.
I thought you were going to say the Emmys.
Yeah. Completely changed topic. Let's talk about those Emmys. John Hamm finally got one. No, we won't go there. But really, you hear about this dirty hit on Carson Palmer. Bruce Arians wasn't happy about it in postgame. What do you think?
I think there's something to it.
Yeah.
You know, I think it doesn't surprise me teams are going after him. I mean, this is the NFL. That stuff happens. And if that's the case, and if the Cardinals did, you know, push down on the accelerator a little bit more, I'm really happy about that. But, man, I hate seeing that. I hate cheap shots in the NFL. I just don't get it, to be honest with you. These guys are in the same union, right? I mean, they're brothers. Yeah. I mean, going out to try to hurt somebody else, man, that makes me sick.
I think there's some temporary insanity sometimes. When you get on that field and you get so charged up, it's like that. Your rationality goes out the window. Even if it goes out the window for just 5 seconds, it's enough to make a kind of play like that.
Sure. All right, we were successful with Faye. Let's give Charles another shot. Charles Davis on the line. He called the game yesterday at Soldier Field. Charles, thanks for joining us, bud.
Hey, guys. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. What was your main takeaway from yesterday?
That's a really good football team in Arizona now. That's a good football team. I think that they have a little bit of everything that you're looking for. You know, I could fall into coach speak real easily. We got great offense, great defense, excellent special teams, all 3 phases of the game. But there is an element of truth to that when you look at this team. I think the thing that I took away the most, and in no particular order, Larry Fitzgerald, there's always talk about him being more of a complimentary receiver. Well, he's still the number 1, and he proved it again in this ball game. Other people will have their opportunities, but they're the complimentary receivers. Larry Fitz is still the number 1 guy. Number 2, Carson Palmer, that return in terms of coming back from a knee injury in that short amount of time and playing at that high of a level, that's phenomenal, especially at his age, to get your body to respond in your 30s, to come back and play the way that he is playing. He's unruffled after the interception right before the end of the half. Tremendous. Defensively, they killed off 2 potential big drives. The fumble on the punt return by J.J. Nelson, great opportunity for Chicago, field goal. The interception Carson Palmer threw with less than a minute to go in the first half, turned it into a field goal. I watched that defense play, and the way they run to the football and rally around is really, really something to watch, and it's something the best defenses have to do now because we don't tackle very often. Practice, off-season, all those things. So missing tackles doesn't carry the stigma with it did before. But in order to make it work and not carry that stigma, you've got to have your brothers rally around you. And so you might miss in the proper place, make him go to where the traffic is, and the other guys clean it up. And the Cardinals do that really, really well.
Yeah. Hey, Charles, great having you on the show. Good job on the call yesterday. Man, it's awesome to have you here. And I saw you at training camp, and so you got to see the Cardinals at practice a little bit. You know, one of the things we've been debating is, after 2 games, are the Cardinals the best team in the NFC? I know you haven't seen every team in the NFC, but you've probably seen film of most of them. What's your take after 2 games? Are the Cardinals the top team in the NFC right now?
They are right there in that discussion because what happens is, you know, Tom, it's kind of like the people who vote in college football polls, and I was one of them for a long time. A lot of the time you are fighting your own instinct to write down the teams that you've gotten used to. Okay? So Ohio State this past weekend plays kind of a game against a better opponent than what people think. But let's be honest about it. They had a tough game out. They didn't play very well at home against Northern Illinois. Michigan State at home against Air Force took care of business. Michigan State has beaten Oregon. By all rights, probably Michigan State should be ranked ahead. But Ohio State has last year's national title. They're Ohio State. We expect them to win it again this year. So they kind of retain that spot. It's like boxing. You got to knock the champ out. You don't really get decisions, that sort of a thing. So Green Bay sits there because they were the ones who were the last team standing before Seattle put them out. You know, they will get that benefit of the doubt. They have Aaron Rodgers. You know, they've kind of been there before. But right now, I don't know that anyone's playing better than Arizona. They shut down New Orleans entirely running the football. I don't care what the final stats say throwing it. And how New Orleans gashed them, as you guys saw with the screen game, swings to the running backs, that sort of thing. They totally took that away from Chicago, and that's one of the better running backs in the league, and Matt Forte, that you want to do that with. So you can see them adjusting, getting better from 1 week to the next week. So I think that they're in that conversation, and the best part about it for them is they believe they're in that conversation. I mean, as far as they're concerned, you've got to prove to them that you can beat them. And that's what championship teams have to have, that little extra element of, we're pretty darn good. We may not beat our chest and scream it out, but we carry it around with us, and you can see it in how we move, how we walk, how we interact. And I believe I see that as the Cardinals.
Now, you being a member of the national media, Charles, what's kind of your take on some of these shocking teams that start out 0-2 this season?
Yeah, it's one of those things where every year we do the same thing, don't we? Teams start 0-2, and we immediately trot out the statistics and the percentages of who makes it and who doesn't make it, and then we always go back and go, hey, you remember when San Diego started, 0-4 and won their division, and you remember when the Cowboys were 0-2, and Charles Haley threw his helmet into the wall and put a big chunk in it, said, you better get Emmett back here, Jerry Jones, or else, and they signed Emmett immediately. I think there's an element of that going on where we have that watch in Seattle. This 0-2 start may do more for Cam Chancellor's contract negotiations than anything else he could have ever done. But I think that when we watch teams who are 0-2, they fall into different groups. Some of the teams we expected to be 0-2. Other teams we're looking at and going, whoa, 0-2, and how did you get there? The Giants are 0-2 after having leads deep into the fourth quarter in both games. Should have beat the Cowboys on the road, and they've the inexplicable, we didn't really know what to do down the stretch, and then everything that came out, no, don't score, then you throw the ball. I mean, it's like, whoa, what's going on here? Atlanta, which many thought might be 0-2 to start the season, is 2-0. They go into New York and beat the Giants, and again, down the stretch. So depending on the team, how we saw them in the preseason, and of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Philadelphia. How many across the country, and I know you guys probably get a great kick out of it, preseason, right? Were the Philadelphia Eagles not ready to go ahead and take the Lombardi Trophy home in preseason? I mean, everybody was just going, oh, my God, have you seen the Eagles? My God, no one could stop them. And They're doing this. They're doing it.
They have Vince Lombardi as their coach.
You know, they are 0-2. And I saw a quote today from Brian, from Chip Kelly. That talks about how embarrassed he was and how embarrassed we are as a team and as an organization and how we played in this game. So
hey,
that
Charles,
just tells you, let's not award any trophies for the preseason, because someone pointed out today the year the Lions went 0-16, they were 4-0 in preseason that year.
Right, exactly. It means nothing. Hey, Charles, you've been around football for so long, and plus you're going to have a unique perspective of the Cardinals because you have 3 of their games.
Yeah.
I think out of the first 8. But from dealing with all the NFL coaches you have and college coaches over the years, is there something unique about Arians?
No doubt.
Brenneman get a chance to meet with him the day before. Is he more candid with you guys? Do you feel something different with him?
Totally. And the thing about Bruce is he's like that no matter what. I mean, you guys from covering whether it's football, basketball, baseball, golf, whatever, because you get a little bit of everything through Phoenix. I mean, you get the top sports in the world that come through there, and you get the things that aren't maybe even as organized. You get a PGA Tour event through there. I'm sure you get road races. You get NASCAR. I mean, you name it, it comes rolling through there. So you see different types, different people. The word I always come back to with BA is authentic, because it doesn't matter whether we're having that conversation about his team and what's going on. And I'm not here to tell you that he's just going to say everything. But he's going to be pretty candid about stuff. And you can bet your last nickel that if he's candid with us, it's not a surprise when it hits the paper or we say it on air to any of the players or people that he interacts with. Does that make sense? Because a lot of those guys, we end up meeting with coaches and what have you, and sometimes they like to deliver messages through us, but they haven't talked it over with their players. And sometimes that works, and sometimes that's not met so well. I think with Bruce Arians, I'd be stunned to ever find out we ever say anything on air that we talked about in our production meeting with him that his team or staff or organization had not already heard from him. And I just believe that throughout time, he got the opportunity to be a college head coach with TEMPE, and, that was a really, really grinder of a job. I mean, anybody who took that job must have been partially crazy at the time. And even now, it's a difficult job, and Matt Rule's doing doing really great stuff with it. But he never got that chance to be an NFL head coach despite putting the skins on the wall, despite being acknowledged as one of the best offensive minds in the game, despite Super Bowl victories piling up and great interactions with great quarterbacks. He never got it. And I just think somewhere along the way he said, something? No matter what, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to be frank about it and open about it, which is really his personality anyway. And I'm not going to second-guess myself and lose any sleep, i.e., remember when they went for,
right.
They ran offense at the end of the first half this last game, and Carson threw the interception on the first play? Mm-hmm. In most situations, people are like, oh, God, what are you doing? You just take a knee, get out of there. Number one, that's not who he is. Number two, even though Carson threw the interception, he would dissect the play. Why did we throw it? What's going on? And never one second guess his ability his decision to go ahead and do that. That's why I like him so much, and why he's so great when we get to sit with him, because I think he's very frank and open. And if he doesn't like what you had to say, and if he doesn't like what you analyze, he'll let you know that too.
Great insight there. Charles, thanks so much for joining us, man. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it a bunch. Looking forward to seeing you guys this week and next. I can't wait to get there. It's going to be a blast. And, last thing, they'll close the dome if it's going to be like 110, right? I mean, they'll close that bad.
Oh, yeah,
right?
That's right. You'll be comfortable. Don't worry.
Right.
Bring some
okay,
shorts
good.
anyway,
Charles.
Tom,
It's
going to be
100.
100.
You know how soft I am. I can't handle all that stuff.
Exactly.
Make sure you
For
pack.
Another day, Charles. I'll tell him some of the stories.
Yeah.
All right,
appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Thanks,
All right,
Charles.
guys, we actually
Appreciate
have a caller on the line right now. Caller, go ahead. Do we have him?
I don't know. I don't hear.
At least we had Charles. Charles was phenomenal. Do we have Bill on the line? Bill? Well, while we're trying to get Bill, let's talk about...
And Jason, I was going to tell you one thing.
Go ahead.
We'll get Charles again, okay? Because he's so good. He
He's
does
great.
have 3 of these Cardinals.
Great.
But next time we're going to get him to tell us some stories. His first job was a coach in college football, and his roommate was John Gruden. So there's some good stories out there, and we're going to get him. And if he doesn't tell them, I will, because I know a lot of them. But next time with Charles, that'll be good.
All right, let's talk about our Week 3 predictions.
By the way, who won last week?
Shane did. You said they'd win by.
Well done.
Well, I said 30.
15.
I said 35 to 20, and it was 35 to 20 in the third quarter.
So, yeah, we give Shane the nod. All right, guys. Niners, Cards. Who you got?
Champ go first, or you reserve
have
the
the
right to
honors.
go last?
I wouldn't consider that an honor. I have more time to think about it. I forgot that we were doing this again.
Here, I'll go. You want to think about it?
Yes.
Okay, just to show my utter and lack disrespect for the San Francisco 49ers, who I don't think will win more than 3 games this year.
I noticed you lean into me as you're doing that, like, so I can hear.
Cardinals 36 to 13 on Sunday.
All right. Well,
All right.
I'm going to go with the premise that Andre Ellington's going to be out another week just because they seem to do okay without him, at least in the meantime. Love to see Mikey Potty back, especially against his old team. Colin Kaepernick had a pretty good game week 1, not so much week 2. I don't know. He's given the 49ers have so many problems, or given the Cardinals so many problems the last couple of years. I'm going to say it's going to be a closer game just because it's not supposed to be. I'll go, let's say Cardinals 27, 49ers 21.
27-21.
Yeah.
Another high-scoring affair. TZ, yours was what again now?
36 to 13 Cardinals.
36 to 13. I will give the Cards the nod because University of Phoenix Stadium. I mean, it's so tough to win there if you're a road team. I'm going 21-7 Cards. A little bit
Taking the
lowering.
under.
All right.
Taking the under.
All right, guys, join us next week. We appreciate it. Week 3, next Monday at noon, right here. We'll be at Four Peaks Brewing Company here in Tempe. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching this week's Cardinals Countdown, brought to you by Sanderson Ford. Check out the powerful Ford F-150 at sandersonford.com.